Yeah, no, I was just sitting there. I'm like, wife had some issues at work, so now I'm just like, yeah, I think I'm gonna have something to drink. So, so yeah, uh, this is courtesy of Buffalo Trace. We're not sponsored or anything, obviously, but this stuff is fantastic. I really enjoy it.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, like I said the other day, I'm gonna pick up a bottle of that. Mine is just a regular honey Jim Beam.
Is it good though?
Yeah, I like it.
Is it sweeter or is it just kind of it cuts the bite of Jim
Um,
Bean?
yeah, yeah. There's a sweet aftertaste.
Oh, that's nice. When's your vacation this summer?
Mine. We're gonna be doing 2 separate weeks. I think it's gonna be the first week and third week of August at 2 different cottages.
Interesting. Like close, both of them are pretty close though. Oh no.
3 hour drives.
Oh, I guess it could be worse. Could
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not like we're going to the states or anything, but
it's gonna
and
tell
there,
you.
I'm pretty sure we're staying in Ontario for both of them.
You can claim that now, the staycation credit or whatever. On
Yeah, I did see that. I he put the premier put something out recently about that.
Yeah, up to $1,000 or something like that. You can claim. It's like, well, I guess I'll do that at the end of the year after taking the kids camping 5 other times and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, but that's what we're doing. We're not doing a whole lot this summer. I mean, a busy summer, but not a
Yeah.
whole lot. It's usually the way it works. Just like, okay, we're gonna have a nice, relaxed summer, and then it's like, but what
Go
is
go go.
relaxed? Does that mean go faster? Schedule more things?
Hmm.
Um, while we were talking, a thunderstorm completely rolled over our house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it. I guess because I got the earplugs in this time versus my headphones.
Hmm.
I didn't hear a thing, and I was taking a look at it out the window, and the gigantic cloud, tons of lightning coming through. Like I was like, holy Christ, this is really actually a nice storm that I missed walking through because I didn't hear a single thing while we were recording at all. So I thought that was rather funny. Um, so the last episode we talked about remaking games. In this episode, want to going to talk about the different gaming news that's come out lately, and we didn't talk about we talked about X-wing versus Tie Fighter, but we didn't talk about Coder or Knights of the Old Republic, which is arguably the best Star Wars story made into a video game.
You
Is
know,
that
I've heard that. I tried it and I didn't like the controls, so I stopped playing. And like very early into the game.
yeah? But weren't the controls like Half Life, or were they not? Were they
I didn't think so. But are you talking Knights of the Old Republic 2 or the first one?
the first one? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I just wasn't into it. But I played it for a very short period of time and then didn't go back to it, which is odd because generally Star Wars games are a draw for me.
Yeah, I mean, I played it well many moons ago. I played through them. I think I just played through the storyline. I didn't play for anything else. I don't know if there is anything else to the games other than the storyline though. Um, I know in Coder, I think it was Coder 2, it had the speed racer, like you had speeder racing in it. There was a
Oh yeah.
yeah, there was a section in there that you did like a speeder race. I'm pretty sure not not like the not Return of the Jedi speeders, but
Like pod
Tatooine.
racing?
It wasn't really. I don't think it was pod racing. It was like Tatooine speeders, that kind of
Okay.
style, where you like a New Hope style speeder. So I don't know. I remember that
Time
much
to break
about the
out your
game.
T65s.
Oh God. Oh no. I That is all I remember about that game. I don't remember the storyline. I just remember that everybody says it is the by far the best game out there. So, with that being said, the reason why we didn't talk about the remake is because in the news there's talk of a KOTOR remake coming out to the PS5, possibly exclusive, and it's from what I've read. I believe it's a 2022, 2023, so like a Q4 later this year, or a 2023, early 2023 release. I mean, that'll make PS5 guys happy if it's just exclusive PS5, but I mean, PC guys are going to be pretty damn bent out of shape if they don't get a version of this.
Yeah, it's. I mean, this day and age. I mean, a lot of. I mean, I guess consoles are still out there. People are still using them, but I thought the draw was heading towards more PC gaming than consoles. So I'm surprised that anybody would do an exclusive anymore.
I think the fair amount of people still game consoles. I mean, we don't, but and honestly, I have a PS5 or 4. Sorry, I have a PS4. I don't have a PS5, and I play two games. I play hockey and baseball. I'm a hardcore console fan. I play hockey and baseball on my console, and that's it. Spent $400 to play hockey and baseball. But I do have friends that are based on like do a lot of their gaming on the PS5. I even know a guy that was looking for a monitor strictly for his PS5 because he wanted. Really? Yeah, so a while back when I was looking for my next monitor, I was looking at the OLEDs, like like the LG C1. But I was looking at the there's a 43-inch version of it or something like that, but I don't think it's OLED. There's a couple different high res, and he's like, "Oh, what do you think about that?" I was like, "Well, you can't go wrong with OLED. The picture is fantastic, and if you're using it for console gaming, he's like, it might be a good size for you." So I think he ended up picking one up. But so I do know people that do just strictly game on console. It's not for me. It's not for a lot of people. But the other news that KOTOR is bringing up is that the Nintendo Switch release version of it actually has a bug, a game-breaking bug that doesn't allow you to finish the game.
I thought those kind of bugs went out with that Atari ET game.
Oh, I don't think you can get rid of bugs, man. I think all these people are expecting games to come out being pristine and polished and like never having a game breaking going. But do people realize this game's for 2006? That bug was probably hidden in there, and they ported it to Switch, and they're like, "Shit, we didn't realize we just broke the game. Okay, don't do this. If you choose this, you won't be able to finish the game. So choose something else." So I found that was kind of funny because I know I wanted to talk about KOTOR as it was, and I saw that pop up on the news feed somewhere, and I was like, "That's amazing. That is a fantastic thing to look at." Other smaller things in the news for people that have been hoarding their pennies. The summer sales are starting to come up. Blizzard started theirs, I believe, yesterday. So if you're looking to play Diablo 2 Resurrected, because everybody wants to play that nostalgia button, or if you're looking to pick up Call of Duty Vanguard for some odd reason, I think right now those are your two, the two big sales that are on there right now, and I don't think they're that big. It's not like it's a Steam discount. It's like a 20% or 30%. So we'll put some links down and below about the sales that are on right now.
I think the Steam one starts tomorrow. I think is what I heard too.
Yeah, Steam sale starts tomorrow. That's why I say you really need to have your pennies ready and put all those games that you know you won't play into your cart and get ready to purchase them. Is that what like the majority of people do? They end up putting they buy them on Steam sale and never play them?
I mean, it's what I do.
That's what I do. I mean, that's a good deal. I can't live without that, but I don't know if I'm going to play it.
I stopped looking at the total number of games on my Steam library. It's just sad.
Okay, it's not the total number of games in your library that is sad. It's the how many have more than like 10 minutes of playtime.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like, and at the end of the day, I've spent money and then just decided that it wasn't really right for me.
Um, do you have anything specific in your cart that you're hoping goes on sale this time? Like actually that you are thinking you're going to play?
I mean, I always have a pile of games on my wish list, um, but nothing that I'm gonna jump out on. I mean, there's a couple of games that I'm really waiting on, um, more information and whatnot. Um, Let me see. I think I recently put it on there, so it's just all the way down at the bottom. Falling Frontier. I don't know if I talked to you about that the other day or a couple of weeks ago or whatever.
I don't think I've heard of it.
Has some very interesting RTS real time strategy style stuff that they're trying to implement. If it works, I think this will probably be a really good game. If
Okay.
it doesn't work, then I mean it'll tank and nobody will play it.
Nice.
I think they're going out on a limb on a couple of things, but we'll see how it goes. Uh,
Falling
other than
Frontier.
other than that, um, not really, not really looking at a whole lot, I guess.
Did you see that the Cycle Frontier, its first season starts or is starting
Yeah.
today?
So I was watching a streamer who's been streaming the cycle for a while. Streamed it during the beta, and he's one of my favorite streamers. And he was looking at the season pass for it today on stream, and he basically said, "Imagine paying money, and this after working so hard to get through the entire list of items, this is the garbage outfit you get." And this is the garbage weapon skins that you get. And he literally, his comment was, it literally looks like they walked into MS Paint and created those assets.
Oh, really? That bad, eh?
Yeah,
I haven't looked at
yeah.
it. Is it?
I, it, I mean, I wouldn't get it for those. Like, you could just go to the regular shop to buy stuff and get better outfits than what you get out of the season pass.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm looking at their content right now, and it looks like it's yeah, five new unique outfits, an axe, a manicore, 20 pieces of gear, 3,000 orums, and 150,000 K marks. It's interesting. That's quite a bit of in-game currency.
Yeah, and you do get like it looks like these loot boxes and stuff like that. I don't know what you're getting out of them, but um I guess we'll see as it progresses. I haven't seen anybody open stuff or anything like that, so I don't really know what they are.
Yeah, that's quite actually a list of what comes out of the elite package, like the $140 elite pack.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, okay,
If you're gonna spend $140 on a game,
yeah, a hundred
I'm gonna be. Go ahead. While you're doing that,
$140 elite pack. Like that's, I mean, okay, so for Americans, probably roughly a hundred bucks, right? Like that is crazy. I mean, I know people spend it all the time, but for what you get, which is the marks, the Aurum, uh, some rifles, some scrappers, some rare helmets, some rare shields, backpacks, two medium backpacks, two large backpacks, two heavy duty backpacks. I mean, it's interesting to see that this has gone from this has gone from play to win to pay to win.
yeah,
Like quite literally, all the stuff you're getting, you are considering you have very not very likely, but there is the likelihood that you will lose it when you go in.
at least when I've gone in.
Yeah, but I mean, like a heavy duty backpack, like you're paying real money and you want me to take that in and lose it? Because I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not the greatest gamer in the world, right? So the likelihood that I'm going to lose it is the big thing.
So I bought this, which probably can't see very well because the image blur. It is the $120 Warhammer Online pack. It was like the elite version of Warhammer Online. So along with the game, you got a bunch of in-game goodies, in-game titles, and whatever. Plus, you get a few extras outside of the game. There's a huge art book that looks like it's like, I don't know, 100 some odd pages, plus a 50-page, 60-page comic book that you also get with it. And after I bought this, I said I would never ever spend that much again. At the time, I was really into Warhammer, so I was fine with it. And I mean, this was years ago as well. And I mean, the box looks fantastic. It looks very old school Warhammery and whatnot. But it just, I didn't get anything out of it. And then the game folded 3 or 4 months later.
Oh, Warhammer went on for a bit longer than that.
Well, I mean, basically nobody played it after that.
Yeah,
Like it died.
something was broken about the game, and that's why
Yeah,
we didn't
nobody
play
liked
it.
combat. I mean, I personally didn't mind it, but a lot of people hated the combat, and you just didn't get population numbers. So a lot of people just stopped playing it really quick, which is unfortunate. But I mean, it is what it is. The only other game that I got the collector's edition for was the Star Trek Online one.
That one was fantastic, or was supposed to be.
Yeah, and I mean it. Obviously, it's not nearly the same size. It's the same size as a regular game box, and you really didn't get a whole lot out of the collector's edition. But again, you only spent $80 on this collector's edition, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't 120. It wasn't hugely expensive,
No,
so I
no.
didn't mind spending that on that because that I mean at the time that was expensive for a game.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
But now your average game is like what, $80, and then on top of that you're spending, um, if you want the elite edition or whatever, now you're well into 100, over $100, 120, 140. I see some games like $180 for this collector's edition, which is absolutely crazy.
Well, that moving into another topic of news is that Blizzard has released its packages for its next WoW expansion, which is Dragonflight. And the packages, they start at $55 for the base game.
For an expansion.
For an expansion, $55 Canadian for the expansion base game.
Wow.
The next one up is called the Heroic, and it includes. Sorry, I'm going to bring it up because I will botch this. So the base expansion includes a pet in game, and you of course get the new class because the new class comes with the expansion. So I don't really call that a perk of buying the game. The Heroic Edition's $89, so $90. You get a character boost to level 60. You get a mount, an in-game mount, which usually sell for about $25, and then you get another pet. Or so you get I said the pet. So you get a pet, a flying dragon, or flying mount, and a level 60 boost. The Epic Edition, which is $115 Canadian. Okay, you get all that shit from the other ones, and then you get something for a Hearthstone effect. Then you get a.
What is that?
I think it's when you hearth to a inn, it gives you a new effect while you're doing that. So like an in-game.
Oh,
like
wow.
Yeah, it gives you like an in-game rainbow or something. I don't know. You get a transmog helmet, which is a diadem. You get a backslot transmog and 30 days of game time for $115.
I mean, So what it sounds like is you get 3 in-game effects and 30 days of game time.
Yeah. So, and this is coming back to what we were talking about just with your boxed editions. Like, I miss having boxed editions. I don't like this in-game content stuff. Like, yeah, it's nice to have. Like, it's good to have those things that you can show. Like, hey, look, I paid for the premium version of it, so you can see it. But I'd rather have something physical. That's, you know what I mean. Like, I would rather have the
Mm-hmm.
box and have like I can go back and be like, oh, look, this artwork was pretty cool to look at. Like, am I going to look at it every day? No. Am I going to throw it on my shelf and be like, yeah, I spent $120 on that? I mean, nowadays there's not a whole lot of games coming out that I want to spend $120 on in one go for an
Yeah.
expansion. Like,
It'd be hard pressed to find a reason to pay that much for a game. It's a lot these days.
well, the
There's so
Destiny
much other
2,
stuff.
Destiny 2's expansions, I didn't want to justify paying for the because they were full game $90 for their expansions, right?
Yeah. Well, 80 to between 80 or 70 between 70 and 90 for sure.
Yeah,
It was like buying a whole new game, which was crazy.
yeah, it is kind of nuts. And it's funny that you were talking about we're talking about in-game chests. Yeah, with
Mm-hmm.
the cycle,
Yeah.
like those 3-4 packages or whatever are completely pay to win in my opinion. I mean, can you go into the game and can you get all that stuff eventually? Yes, but that's giving you a leg up,
Giant leap
a
forward.
giant
Yeah.
leap up on anybody else that goes in. Like, and I get it for like streamer wise, those guys are gonna love having that because they're gonna go in with their team of three or is team of threes, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your team of threes. They're gonna go in with their team of threes of guys they game with all the time, and they're gonna have this giant leg up and get into like some guys just gonna be like, yeah, I'm new and okay, and I'm going in with just a pistol. And they're just gonna
Yeah.
get
Or a little shotgun that you start out with, which, to be fair, the shotguns aren't bad no matter what level you are. I mean, the weapons themselves are kind of balanced, but when you get all the extra stuff and you're not overly concerned about losing stuff, that's when you start to get worried.
yeah for sure. Um, It's funny though that these boxes being pay to win. It's actually been noticed on the political side of things. Is there's a big article out right now. Um, I saw on PC Gamer about Ted Cruz, Senator Ted Cruz from Texas, talking about how
Florida?
Texas.
Is he Texas? I thought Ted Cruz was Florida.
I thought it was Texas.
Maybe.
I'm gonna find out now. Texas, yes,
Oh,
Texas.
that's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought he was Florida.
Yeah, he's been serving senator for Texas since 2013, apparently. But he was talking. He's got his own. Um, he's got his own podcast that he talks about. I guess different political issues, obviously. But they brought up the issue of pay to win gaming boxes, especially when it comes to like kids buying them and stuff like that. That they were
Yeah.
likening it to gambling for kids, especially
Gambling.
when it gives you a pay to win up, especially when it gives you that leg up in the game.
Yeah. Well, wasn't that an issue with like CS:GO and whatnot back in the day too? Didn't they have huge controversy over that? Kids getting these loot boxes or spending money on these random loot generators and stuff like that, and a lot of like the CS:GO devs had to like start suing some of these people or something like that, or I can't really remember the stories, but
I think with Counter Strike, it was they were um, kids are spending money on skins, like the different skins in the game and stuff like that. Like where they might have been coming from loot boxes, they might have been being created. I don't remember either, but yeah, it was the same idea. It was like somebody was charging $950 for some random skin, and you could sell it on the Steam store, and they could buy it right away. I think they
mm-hmm.
did have some issues, some legalities that they ended up getting into with it. Um, I think with this one, they're particularly just talking about loot boxes that are um, giving you an edge up in the game. Um, like I've got issues with loot boxes that I always find, and reasons why I didn't want to spend money on these loot boxes is because it's randomly generated crap. You know what I mean? Like RNG gods do not like me. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
I always found that every time when you buy League of Legends loot boxes, they're masterwork boxes, and they give you a random skin or they give you a random crystals so you can buy other characters, and they give you random emotes or they give you random award skins. It's not stuff that's necessarily game breaking. It's not pay to win because their skins don't necessarily give you an edge up over someone else, right? It's just a skin.
Yeah.
It's just something to make the game look a little prettier. Whereas you get what we're talking about in the cycle where it's quite literally giving you a leg up is kind of a different
Yeah.
thing.
Giving you weapons you wouldn't normally have, allowing you to purchase things that you wouldn't be able to purchase. Yeah. It's not
Yeah,
just a cover up, it's a or a cover over an item. It's a physical item that will give you a leg up. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I always hated Overwatch's boxes and um, their system for giving out boxes. I don't know. Every time it was always like it was always a skin that you didn't want of a guy you didn't
Yeah, for a
play.
character you didn't play, yeah. It's still that way.
Yeah.
I got one today. I was playing a little Overwatch when I got home from work, and the I got a McCree, or he's not McCree anymore. They changed his name because of the it was named after a Blizzard guy. But whatever his new name is, I got a skin for him, and I don't know how to play him. I've never played that character ever, so I have no idea.
And can you imagine?
Uh,
Okay, you drop $100 and everything you get out of all of those skin boxes, or out of those boxes, are all for things you don't play.
Sorry, say that again.
So you imagine you drop $100 on loot boxes for the game.
Oh, and then the rewards you get is just it's all for stuff you don't. Yeah.
Yeah, or like
Uh,
it's sayings
it's
and
yeah. I mean, there's what I don't know, 15 characters. But there's probably more than that. There's probably like 20 or whatever there is. But out of those 20, I have like three that I play. Right? I'll play Diva, I'll play Ash, and I'll play Hanzo. And I might dabble in a little bit of Tracer. I might dabble in a little bit of Reinhardt. But at the end of the day, I play three characters of 20, and each character has something like 150 items you can get. So, I mean, it's insane.
yeah, it is kind of nuts actually. That was my biggest gripe with it too, and like, or you can buy the coins though too, right? Can you buy straight coins and then purchase the skin that way, or do you have to discover the skin?
Well, there are a few skins that you can only get by purchasing. I think you can unlock a bunch of them early. But I think the legendary skins. No, that's not true because I think that's what the McCree one I got was. It was like a Sherlock Holmes thing, and I think that's a legendary skin for him.
Okay.
Um, so I mean, it's either or. I think you can get coins from the loot boxes and then use those coins to unlock the um, various skins or voice lines or whatever.
Yeah, I think the loot boxes they're talking about are specifically pay to win, saying that loot boxes that are pay to win are completely and utterly gambling for kids if they're buying
Mm-hmm.
them. And the big thing about the article that they were sitting down and talking to was that Ted Cruz actually want to talk to Asmongold, the Twitch streamer, about it and sit down and be like, okay, how can we not regulate this federally, but still regulate it so that we can, don't not control it, but control it in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I think, kind of the interesting, is something interesting that the first time politicians actually sitting down and wanting to control it, what's going on there. But
To be fair, normally I'm like government stay out of gaming. because they're usually their viewpoint is games cause problems in society, which I don't necessarily agree with. I don't think games desensitizes you or anything like that. You're playing games because it's a game. You know it's a game when you sit down, right? And anything, as long as parents are making sure that their kids are playing games that are appropriate for their age level, then it shouldn't be an issue. You can't tell me some 20-year-old guy is going out and committing major crimes because of a video game.
I
I
mean,
just if they are, then there's something wrong with them in the head rather than something else, right?
oh yeah, for sure. Um, and when you start getting into it and you start talking about like near the end of the video, he starts talking about the movie Ready Player One,
Yep.
where they go into the world or whatever.
It's
He's
a
like,
fantastic movie.
I actually haven't seen it at
Even
all.
better book.
Oh yeah, I
Oh
haven't.
yeah. I've and there's a sequel book as well. Um for it's ready I think it's Ready Player 2 actually. I think that's what they called it.
Oh really?
Um yeah, Will Wheaton from The Next Generation played Wesley Crusher. He narrated both books. It was really good.
God, I can't stand his voice.
Well, don't get the audiobook.
Don't get the audiobook. Sit down and read it. Oh man. Um, the last 30 seconds of the video that he posted is actually rather interesting because he talks about Ready Player One and how people are going into that world and that he's just like, um, he starts to get he talks about like escapism and dystopian worlds and stuff like that where what's going to end up happening when Facebook Meta starts to launch and people are like, because people get addicted to it, right? Just like they get addicted to Instagram and Facebook, they're going to want to
I
start
mean,
spending money on these boxes for the virtual world.
yeah. So I mean, spending money wise thing isn't something that I see, but I mean, I got to be honest as a manager of a RP community for GTA. I mean, I see it. People spend way too much time in game. There, some people play it as Second Life, and it creates real world issues for them where people are spending 14 to 20 hours a day playing these video games. And I mean, it's fun to play, don't get me wrong, I love it, but I mean, play for a couple hours, go go outside, touch some grass, see some sky, listen to the rainfall,
Smell
see the
that clean,
sunset.
clean air. Oh,
But yeah, I mean, people definitely use that kind of stuff as an escape for sure.
yeah, and I think that's where he's starting to wonder about the issues of how much people are going to get addicted to. Now I'm buying this and paying for it in there, so now we need to regulate what is essentially going to be our first virtual world. I wouldn't say first. I mean, um, Star Wars Galaxy had a really good in-game system for making and crafting your own house and stuff like that. There's
Mm-hmm.
throughout gaming history, we've seen virtual worlds that people have made their home as opposed to being in their real world. So Facebook
Yeah.
Meta is not really a new concept sort of thing. It's just kind of normalizing being in a video game world for people who aren't into video games, I think is it is. And I think that's where they're starting to get concerned about regulating stuff that's being purchased for it. So it'd be interesting to see if they do sit down and talk about it. And he does talk to Asmongold or any other big streamer that has a take on it to see where it goes and where it lands politically or federally and in the government. So I'd be interested to see that article and see what they end up talking about and coming to. There's a couple other interesting things in the news. One more thing on specifically on the gaming front that I want to talk about is former BioWare boss was reported as saying that the industry undelivers and overpromises players in games. Um, so, former boss at BioWare, Aaron Flynn, um, after seeing a result of a string of disappointments from players, I think players are ultimately pretty fair. Flynn said in a recent interview, they want games to be great, they want them to be polished, and they want experiences to be respectful of their time. The developer went on to say that I think our industry has underdelivered and overpromised on some of those things. A lot of times when you see disappointed players, it's often because a studio or team has set an expectation that they can't hit. I get that. I can relate. I think we can all relate to that. That is a pretty, I wouldn't, it's a pretty good statement coming from him.
I mean, it's kind of about time. What role does he play, or did he play at BioWare?
I'm gonna look up. I'm not 100%. Give me 2 seconds.
Because I mean, to have to have somebody actually say that, especially if they're from like the top of the company kind of a thing, top of the food chain, there would be fantastic. I mean, we've been saying this since 2013, to be honest. Um, uh, I hate to
he was a
continue harping on a. Go ahead.
he was a BioWare general manager, producer, director of Mass Effect trilogy, Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. So he's pretty
Well, those
big.
are big titles, right?
Those are big titles.
Yeah,
And
that's fairly important.
yeah, I don't want to hit on things like, I mean, talking about what Star Citizen promises and is putting out there. I don't want to hit just on that, or isn't putting out
but
there.
I mean, that's a perfect example of it, though, right? I mean, 2013, they promised to have a working game out for their people to play, and then ever since, it's been the gamer's fault because we've over expected them to produce something, or we kept making demands of them to produce something or put something in. And I think that's an unreasonable expectation from them on their player base that they tried to grab a hold of. Well, because they certainly inspired us back in 2012 with that Kickstarter video and whatnot. I know I was all in back then.
Yeah, I was
2012,
too.
it was fantastic. Even in 2013, we didn't get the game. I was still fully in. I mean, it was years before I realized, well, it's another year gone by and still no full game out.
Yeah, I think it really took us about 4 years, maybe 5,
Yeah.
before we started realizing that, yeah, who knows when this is coming out, right? Like maybe we held on longer than most people, and I know there's people that are holding on even more than we are to the possibility of the game coming out and when it comes out.
Oh, for sure. There's still hardcore people out there. If you talk badly about the game or the fact that it's 10 years late, they will jump on you. You can't
Yeah,
go into a Star Citizen chat room and not get pounced on if you come out against the game.
but even if you look at smaller titles that don't have such a overwhelming amount of community response to what's going on, you look at the Division, the first Division. Like, it promised
a lot too.
A lot, and it looked good in the videos, and it promised we're going to integrate with tablets. So even if your buddy's not at home, he's sitting on the bus, he can dial in, he can fly the drone for you, show you where guys are, and you're going to be able to play integrated with your buddies. And it's like, well, sweet. I got to sit on the bus for an hour and a half. I wouldn't mind dialing in to my Wi-Fi or on my cell phone and playing. Like, and then what actually came out, and the fact that the graphics were degraded, like the engine had been degraded, and then things were cut, and then you got this underdeveloped for release point of view, and you overpromised from the beginning and just slowly cut things that after you'd seen your sales and stuff. So
I think one of the one of the things we complained about too was the scripted video, right? When they showed us the gameplay footage, we all watched it and we were all in awe. Oh my god, this is actually happening. This is what they're doing right now. And then as it progressed, we realized that this isn't happening now. This is something that they did like 3 weeks ago, and they planned it out. It's clearly scripted, and it just wasn't what we were all expecting to see.
Yeah, you had that initial wow factor in what was coming out. So
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean,
don't get me wrong, the story for it is fantastic. I love the idea of the story from the Division and carried over into Division 2 and whatnot, but the gameplay just didn't end up finishing where I think everybody expected it to.
no, and then it got into that. Sorry, pardon me. Got into that bullet sponge thing, and and
Hmm.
everybody's like, "Oh, it's just so hard to kill things." Um, so yeah, I can see that. But I mean, like even games now, stuff that's coming out now, it's the same things
Well,
over and over again.
that's part of the problem too, isn't it? Though we get all these games coming out, and we're beta releasing it for you, and you can play the game in beta until we release the next version, and then the next version, and it's version 47 version 47. It's like, well, when are we actually going to get the game? Why do we keep releasing games that aren't ready to be released? They're only half done, and we sit back and wait for more versions. It's like the companies are um trying to save money by getting a game out there and making money off of that beta and give themselves more development time, kind of a thing. And it just, instead of releasing that AAA game right from the get-go.
Yeah, it is kind of how it feels nowadays. I have to admit, I agree. Like I can't I can't remember the last time I bought something that wasn't like a pre-release. You know what I mean? Like you're trying
Mm-hmm.
it out first, and then you're paying for it. Like even I think the original Overwatch we bought, it was here's your beta access as well, and it was helped them develop through the beta, and then the beta was released. I think
I don't even remember back then.
I don't remember too much, but I mean, it's the development's gone a different way, right? With Steam being what it is, people just want to release and release and release and release and release and never actually release an actual
Finish.
game. They just want to put beta 2.0 or they finally slap a tag on it that says, "Yeah, this is the final product."
Well, and that's the final product they're releasing rather than being an actual final product, right? So
Yeah,
ugly bugs and all.
yeah, ugly bugs and all. I mean, like considering that you can find bugs in most of the stuff that ends up coming out is a big issue is nowadays. Like there's still bugs in WoW, bugs that have
Hmm.
been there for 15 years. But like, why is this still a problem? I don't understand. Or
Yeah.
when they don't realize how to release an expansion and you get flooded at the gates and your connection issues right off the bat, it's like, but you this is your seventh expansion. Why is it happening like this?
Yeah.
And then very few developers run back and say that they effed up and then they redevelop. I mean, the only one I can think of is Final Fantasy Online. Final Fantasy, I guess, what is it, 15 or something? Well, that was the online version where
15 or 14? Yeah.
14, where they released the game. Everybody's like, this is dog shit. And the developer's like, you are right. We failed. And they clawed it back and then re released the game 2 years later, a Realm
Two
Reborn.
years. Wow.
Yeah, it was a Realm Reborn. I think it was 2 years after the initial development. They re-released the game, and now it's flourishing. It's actually a very, very good game now. It's still going strong. So
Well, that's good.
yeah,
Actually, I remember something like September last year where there was a big push to get people in, or they had stopped letting people into the game
yep,
because there was too many people. So they stopped letting people in, and you couldn't even purchase it on Steam or wherever, and you had to wait to buy it.
yeah. That was the new expansion that they came out with. the new expansion ended up being so popular when it was released that they shut down purchases of it. Roast
Wow.
Scooby, going for some more.
Well, switching to water. The bourbon's done.
There you go. Yeah, they said no, we can't. Our servers can't handle this, and they shut down. They let people kind of experience some of the game, some of the new expansion, and then they slowly opened and re-released. So good on them to notice that they're being overborne and they can't get everybody on there.
Yeah,
I think it just made the game more popular.
Often. Yeah.
I honestly just think it made it more popular for them.
Good.
Cool. So out of gaming news, touch on the last couple items, and into more hardware news. PCI.
Yeah. So.
You go ahead.
Well, yeah. It looks like a recent release of information, an article on PC Gamer, was saying that PCI Express 7.0 is going to quadruple the bandwidth of PCI Express 5.0, and it's expected in well, not today, not tomorrow, but in 2025. So we're in 3 years away from quadrupling our current PCI Express speeds.
Is that like we're in the end game now? Is that?
I mean, it looks. Well, I mean, everything's going to keep getting faster, right? At some point, I don't think you're ever going to get to the end point. I'm just looking at what the actual. So they figure PCI Express 7.0 will deliver a maximum data rate of 128. I don't know what the heck GT. What's a GT? That's not a gigaterabyte, is it?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know what a GT is. Maybe it's a spelling error. I don't know.
No, it is.
Everything else is gigabytes.
Yeah, 512 gigabytes a second, bidirectionally via bidirectionally by 16 configuration. Okay, I'm gonna look up what GTS because now I want to know. Now I need to know what GTS stands for.
Yeah, exactly.
It is gigatransfers per second. Interesting. Huh. Okay, so how about we just go with gigabytes per second? It's gonna be able to transfer.
It's gonna be fast.
It's gonna be real fast.
It's gonna be really fast.
You know how fast it's gonna be? It's gonna be so fast that you won't have time to go get that drink before your game's loaded. Okay. It's gonna be so fast that before you know it, your pants will be off. You don't even realize it.
Oh, actually, if you scroll down a bit further, it actually they have a chart that kind of explains it better, right?
Oh,
so
based on the
128 GTs per second is 512 gigs per second on 16 lanes.
Okay.
Okay.
So my real question then is, how fast is it going to load WoW for me? How many frames per second am I getting? Am I playing at 8K frame rate at that point?
I mean, it's so. I guess this is the data that it's sending through your graphics card, right? How fast it'll go through your motherboard from CPU to graphics card. Is that what I'm?
Ooh. Okay, so PCIe 7.0 spec is expected to land in 2025, but we won't see end devices until the 2028 timeframe. So this stuff's a little far off. Far off.
Yeah.
Does that mean they're going to skip 6, PCIe 6, and just hit 7? No, they're still aiming 6 for 2022, which is this year.
Right, but then it'll probably not, like, it'll the data for it'll probably release, but before we see it in like regular people's cases, it's probably still 2 years out, 3 years out.
So if you're planning on buying a new video card, don't. You're running a 1070 and it's smoking, playing Call of Duty Vanguard. save your pennies up, wait, and in 2025 or 2028, it'll be time to upgrade. You'll get the 6090 Ti for a whopping probably $6,500 American. You'll get the 21100K Intel that basically transmits data faster than light. And yeah, you'll have a 3,000 watt power supply just to back it. So
You'll need to directly plug your video card right into the wall.
no, it'd be like you have guys out there with like poles going out to like power lines, be like, "This is how they told me to hook up my power supply." In other news, man dies trying to hook up 6090 Ti power supply. Please stop trying. Please stop trying.
Yeah.
I think that's the most interesting material we've got for today. Yeah.
Well, unless we want to talk about that Red Bull article.
Oh, okay. So what exactly? This guy's an F1 racer?
So yeah, well, Formula 2 driver, which I'm to be fair, I'm not sure what the difference is. Wait, Formula 2 contender and reserve driver for Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I think the Formula 2s are the super fast cars, which and then yeah, so he's a reserve driver for their F1 team, and I guess he was at a Call of Duty event
Okay.
and used a racial slur while being interviewed or something.
Yeah, on Twitch.
A live stream on Twitch, yeah. And I guess he was streaming with the Red Bull Junior team driver, and he used a slur, but it was faint, but clear enough to be made out. And I guess it sparked an immediate reaction from Red Bull, and they canned him on the spot, kind of thing.
Jeez, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, I understand the.
Oh, I so apparently he refused to wear a pink Red Bull cap and used a slur, and
Oh yeah, seen.
that was it. That was it. Very unfortunate. Very quick action from the Red Bull management, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like that is. Their plans to conduct a full investigate. Red Bull plans to conduct a full investigation, according to a statement shared by the team.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote an apology, says he regrets his action, and it doesn't say whether or not Red Bull fired him right off the bat. Oh, they suspended him though. Yeah.
Yeah, they
So he's
suspended
suspended.
him,
Yeah. That'll just end up leading to firing probably later on. I mean,
it's not going to be a good look, that's for sure.
I don't expect them to keep him around if that's the end of the case.
I mean, he'll probably need to take a year or two off, or drop down a level or two, and then then come back later.
Yeah. Cool. That's a downer way to end that. I mean,
Well, it's not happy news, that's for sure.
No happy news. Where's the happy news? The happy news is that Steam sale tomorrow. Get your credit cards ready. Call your bank. Get your credit limit increased as much as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you remortgage your house so you have
Mortgage your house.
Yeah. Get that. Tell them that you're not paying your mortgage this week because you've got the Steam sale and you got all the games that you want. You gotta buy them out. You said Falling Frontier.
That's the one that's on my list that I'm keeping an eye on. Last news I heard on it is they were holding until Q3, Q4.
Are they just holding so that they don't have to put it on Steam sale?
Well, I mean that would Q4 would be the Christmas sale, but they or Q3 would be anyway. But I think they found some issues that they really wanted to sort out before they put it out to a beta and early release stuff. These guys sound like they're they're really itching to get their game out, but they want to get it out properly. So
Holy shit,
yeah,
that's in depth, man. Like you can go down to the planet, like you have the galaxy and you're going down to the planet and then you see what you have in orbit around a planet.
yeah. But if you look at the space combat stuff, that's kind of where what really sold me on it. Like you go in, you're flying into this asteroid belt, and your sensors hit the asteroids, so you could have enemy ships hiding behind the asteroids. You don't know until you've got the angle for your radar to spot them, kind of thing.
Oh
So
man.
it gets kind of in depth. So and on top of that, if you just fire into the asteroid belt and hit asteroids, well, what happens to fucking asteroids that get hit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They explode. Well, now that debris can cause damage to ships and infrastructure, to your mining bases or whatever's in there, and that, from what I understand, anyways. So I'm as far as RTSs are concerned, this may be the one that kind of comes out as the next interesting interesting thing.
Well, Homeworld 3 is slated to be in development as well. I don't know if they're ready to come out or if they are
I
you
haven't
know,
seen a whole lot on it, but
I haven't seen either. First half of 2023. So that's still a while away. That could be later than that. But initial release date December 2022. But then it's saying that it's
so
mid
so the
2023.
beta is going to be released in December.
Please no. Please no. Just release a good polished game. That's all we want. Good polished
100%
game. I mean,
with you
this
right there.
Falling Frontier actually looks pretty good. I might actually check that out later and see what it's about. Because it does look interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It
For
does
sure.
definitely look interesting. My Steam list is pretty crappy, actually, to tell you the truth.
I wish I could say the same, but I think I have. Anytime I see anything that interests me, I put it on the wish list so that I get news every once in a while about it. So I think I have like 100 different games on my wish list.
Yeah, I don't. I have nine. I have nine
Oh
games on
my
my wish
god,
list.
9! That's insane.
I mean, yeah, I know I don't have that much. I mean, I tried Outriders today and I had to stop. I quite literally, I felt nauseous. I was like, it just was. I don't know. I finished a combat scene, turned around, and just was like, my head was like, yeah, I'm done. This game. I was surprised. I've never really had that problem with games. So, um, but it was interesting. I did like the concept of it, and I would probably have played it if it didn't make me sick. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah.
I did have one that I just happened to see the other day. It's called Frozenheim. So you play as a Viking nation, and it's a kind of an RTSy type deal too.
Here, I'm the one that's saying that I love my RTSs, and you're the one picking out all the RTS games.
Well, I don't know if it's more of a 4X or if it's more of a
Strategy.
RTS. I don't see 4X in its tags anywhere.
Yeah.
Just strategy based building RTS, war, medieval. So I mean that might be another one, and it's online co-op and PvP and whatnot. So it looks interesting. So
Yeah.
those were the two that I've come upon recently that
Yeah,
I'm
most people
interested
that
in.
don't like it, they say they don't like it because it's not a city builder. It's not a
Yeah,
it's a good Age of Empires style game, not a 4X style build your thing. So,
yeah.
well, that might be my type of game then, because I enjoy those that are like this, that are more just go out kill everything.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll go on for less than 20% off. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'll I'll
Bring on the deals.
yeah, we'll see what ends up happening. Something will come up and I'll be like, should I pick that up? I should just pick it up because it's on sale. But
Yeah, and then well, I mean that's part of my problem, right? It sits on my list and I never fucking go back to it. I I forget about it.
yeah, maybe Elden Ring will go on for 50% off or something. I doubt it.
Might be a little early.
Might be, yeah.
Maybe like the Christmas sale.
Maybe next year's Christmas sale. Like, okay, look, it's $20 now, and be playing and be like, graphics suck on this. Yeah, it's 2 years old.
You it doesn't need VR. It sucks.
Absolutely terrible. Okay, I think we've yeah, we're at we're at an hour, man. So
Awesome.
that's a good way to end here, yeah, for sure. So yeah, again, we beat a dead horse, Steam sale, and don't spend all your money, guys. Be responsible. Don't be like this guy over here buying 800 games, playing 5.
Yep.
Or me having 9 games, buying all 9, not playing any of them. That's my route. Okay, buddy. We'll talk later, and have a good night.
All right. Sounds good.
Cheers.
See you.